Hello, and welcome to Endless Mode. I'm Mysterious Gamer X.
And I'm CptEmoji. Happy to see you all. I know it's been a little bit, but here we are. Gonna try out the new Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Currently available as some sort of demo thingy, so we're gonna see what it's all about. I haven't really played a Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 3, so interested to see where they stack up.
COD Mod 3.
Yeah.
I think I watched you play that one too.
Probably.
Of course, before that, we didn't have all the cool microphones and accoutrement. You didn't get to join us on that adventure, but here we are today. I'm excited.
Hey, cool, we have off-world colonies.
This one's in space. I do like that.
That's pretty neat.
I will say that having spaceships and space guns and whatever else, making it more, I don't know, Fifth Element-like, helps me a lot, because Modern Warfare type shooters where it's like, hey look, it's an AR-15, I don't know, there's something about that that's very boring to me. Maybe it's because you can actually buy them and like go to a range. Maybe it's because I'm an American, I don't know. And like, guns are so pervasive that like, that's a thing you can just do.
Or you were military and were actually trained on a lot of these things.
Well, I mean, only the American stuff. I mean, I used the M4 and the 240 and the 249, which are squad assault rifles, heavy machine gun and light machine gun, respectively.
And I guess they never had the Mark 19 in the Modern Warfare game.
I think there was a helicopter segment once where there was a Mark 19, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not saying it's not done, I'm just saying that it's an awful lot of gun to mount on something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I know where I was, we usually mounted like a 249 even, just because the 240 was too much of a big pig to fit in there and still fit people.
That's true.
It'd be like trying to fit like a... It'd be like trying to fit Cloud's greatsword into like a Volkswagen Beetle. I mean, it'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's too much weapon for a small frame.
I see we're using future P90s.
Oh, but the P90, I mean, ever since...
Yeah, no, it is basically a space gun.
Ever since Stargate, I've always had a soft spot for that gun. I always loved that, and I was like, oh, I wish the Air Force actually, like, used those. They're so cool. Really just the bullpup design in general in this, but yeah, they're space ones, which makes them look futury.
Yeah.
Stargate did a good job at that, too, although it was because they couldn't get enough P90s, I guess. So they just used all their extra prop bits to build some of the extra guns.
Yeah, I had to make up some guns, because getting blanks was hard, and they needed a
the Carter
concealed
Special
magazine.
Oh, that horrific beeping, I did not forget to turn my cell phone off. That is, in fact, the controller. And I'm guessing that's monitoring your approach, right?
I guess.
I kind of like that. I think it's immersive. I don't find it annoying at all, but I do realize that it probably sounds hellish on our microphone. It reminds me of, like, the first game that ever did that to me was No More Heroes.
Oh.
Where all of your cell phone conversations were happening on the Wiimote. And of course, being me, I immediately put it up to my head like a phone and listened to it like a good boy. That's a game we need to do at some point.
Definitely. I wonder if in the full game that's actually going to be an attack you use, or if it's just set-piece stuff.
If multiplayer doesn't let you do that to another human being, I'd be disappointed. Because that's Knife Fighter Evolved right there.
Yeah, it is.
I want to be able to do that, throw a tomahawk, and then shoot a ballistic knife at someone, because that's how you live your life sometimes.
That's cool. I'm here along for the ride.
You did the cool intro where you stomped on a man like a Goomba and Mario and then knifed him in the neck. What are you complaining about?
That's alright.
They have to make the whole squad look very SEAL Team 6 right now. They're establishing credibility here.
I guess. I mean, they threw a lot of propaganda shade right at the beginning there. I'm hoping they subvert that at some point.
They did. These guys are supposed to be, like, super evil. Like Hydra evil or something. Like,
yeah.
from what I gathered from the opening cutscene.
Well, so much for stealth.
They want to get rid of Earth as, like, a concept or something. It's really dark sounding.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like they want to implode the entire planet, like they want to frack it to death.
Yeah. Nah, definitely what I got.
Like the bad guy from the Star Trek reboot. They want to literally inject the thing into the middle and make the whole planet go pop.
Mm.
Well, I mean, because that's what you're here for, right? Isn't it some kind of, like, giant space fuck-off weapon?
I think so.
Like a tinier and more realistic Death Star. Because, I mean, really, the resources to build a Death Star are just obscene. But,
that's true, and we only have Mars.
yeah. We're not doing the deep space thing yet. We're still mucking about in our own little end of the spiral arm of the galaxy. I do like the spacesuits, though.
These are some neat suits, yeah.
I mean, they look somewhere in between a... Okay, anti-grav grenades might be the coolest thing ever. But, I gotta say, I wouldn't use them on the bad guys. Those things look like they're designed to make the cool, bouncy castle of the future.
That's true.
Also, again, I haven't played the multiplayer, and I don't know if you have, but if you can't use that to slow your descent and like do some kind of cool space bounce, I would be disappointed. There's got to be a stage that takes advantage of that.
Oh, God, I hope so.
Like the what was it, Halo 2 or 3, where they had the bounce pads.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they weren't bounce pads, but they were the little hover boost dealies that you jump on and then hop up a platform. Because Master Chief couldn't really jump on his own. Because, you know, he weighed as much as a battleship or something. It was ridiculous.
That's true.
Keep us moving. Stay alert, we're not clear.
What are your dudes' names?
Let's see, we got Sipes and T, and I think I'm Wolf. Which means I definitely won the nickname war.
I was wondering if they were nicknames or if these are just last names.
They could be.
You could be Mr. Wolf. I mean, that's a realistic last name. Ooh, I thought it was a blowtorch, but it's a little drone that was cutting me.
That's pretty neat.
I do remember an earlier play that you were doing. There's a grenade type like that looks like a little spider drone. Those, yeah.
Yeah, these guys.
They're kind of cute. They're like robot pets that kill.
Bots.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool looking.
How could you possibly know that?
Well, you guys are doing a secret mission. You knew what you were here for. I'm guessing that you guys had some, like, space photography, thermals, that sort of thing. You guys seem to know exactly where to hit. You know what I mean?
I guess.
You guys even knew the floor layout. You guys didn't get lost. There wasn't a sequence of trying to crack a door or something. So, I mean, with that in mind, you guys had a ton of intel on this place. I'm surprised that you guys immediately recognized that there was a, like, off-the-shelf model, as it were, that you're currently eviscerating people with. Like,
yeah.
The big Doomsday space gun, it's pretty obvious that it's a big Doomsday space gun. I do like that it runs out of ammo comically fast.
Yeah, no, that could definitely,
It's a prototype, though. That's the kind of thing that you iron out in R&D. Bigger clip size and stuff like that. Right now, this thing just has to do field tests and, like, parades or something. You know, like, the kind of stuff that you use your, like, budget for.
that's what
This is like the Mark 1 Iron Man suit.
I guess. You don't get that missile launcher anymore, because I hate it.
You know, you're doing much better than last time. Of course, you actually know how the space gun works this time, too. That really does help.
That's true.
You kind of blew your whole load on the ground troops, and then found out this doesn't take damage from literally anything else. Like, it does not care about grenades, even the cool little seeker ones, and it kind of laughs at bullets.
Yeah.
Which really begs the question, why do they need the cool space gun if they have immune-to-bullet robots?
That's true.
I mean, if they're the only ones that have developed the, for lack of a better, Panzerfaust, then why do they need the Panzerfaust? If anything, they just gave us the gun to destroy their cool robot.
Yeah.
They've probably heck, even if you don't get the big FU gun out, just by getting one of those little prototype ones, you guys have probably advanced your R&D by years.
Well, technically speaking, this is already our R&D, but now we get an impromptu field test.
Ah, okay.
This is one of our facilities they took over, and that we have to retake over.
Oh, okay. So you guys were developing the Panzerfaust, and they're trying to stop that because they want it if anyone's going to have it. Oh.
Saves a lethal part. You're still working.
Oh. Maybe it's a heart rate monitor instead, or...
No, it's just a general alert because I'm out of oxygen. And it's really cold outside.
What is that, negative 279?
Yeah.
It doesn't say whether it's Celsius or Fahrenheit, but this is an American game. I'm going to guess that it's probably Fahrenheit.
Probably.
Get him up. He needs
Oh, thank you, Robot Man. I mean, you kicked my buddy in the face, which is weird, but...
Their spacesuits look the exact same, and I know I talked about this with you privately, but... Except for that one guy. He kind of looked like a hockey goalie with the extra bits around the front, but for the most part, like your character guys.
should be shut down.
Emerald catch.
Medical.
I don't think you're an admiral. Unless you guys are following Star Trek rules.
Well, they do seem to run around in really small groups for the most part, so they could be. They clearly have red shirts. They could be following Star Trek rules.
You know, your dudes perform better when they know their command is
Cares about
trying not to get them killed.
Killing them to make a point. That guy there that's still standing there has got to be questioning things right now. Like, could that have been me?
Yeah, man.
I mean,
you're kind of setting yourself up for failure.
He pulls his little oxygen thing back out. He literally brought that just to have a conversation with you.
But why didn't my suit just take in the air?
Save the bullets.
Oh no, a flag. That matters.
Colonialism.
Is it ironic because the colonists are planting that?
Unclear. Helmet cam stopped transmitting.
Yeah,
18 hours,
maybe.
No contact.
I don't think it's intentionally ironic. I think it is actually ironic.
Oh.
They planted a flag in our rock. They executed 3 men and shot down a pilot.
Our team
So guy on the
sent
left
us
kind of reminds me of
classified
Tom
weapons
Cruise
from
from
a closed
Top Gun.
facility.
That facility is a
Yeah.
black site.
I get that
I
vibe.
can see that
Why the hell is
actually.
SETDEF allowed
I get that vibe.
Permission of
And I
the
recognize the
all nations
black
have
dude
access
too.
to
Sir, that objective required a full
Lawrence
strike force,
Fishburne?
not a 4-man team.
Lieutenant Reyes.
Maybe?
I implore
Young
your
Lawrence
diplomacy
Fishburne?
in this office.
There's somebody else I'm thinking of who's actually been in military movies and been, like, higher-ranking headquarters man.
About this.
Right
They
now,
were definitely
strategic air
they were
command.
definitely watching a movie when they did this animation. Like they had people in mind, I think.
Yeah.
We should be out there on
Which
patrol,
I mean,
down
that's
here.
not a bad thing. I'm not even like calling it out saying like, oh, they just copied these people. Reference is good.
Stand by with our barrels of
Reference
can
is
and watch
important.
the
It's
fleet
where you it's what helps you put all the pieces in the right place.
My instincts, which are aligned indelibly with your own, are that we need to engage.
I do like that everyone's clean shaven, but like it's been a few hours.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
these are folks that have been working all day. They have a 5 o'clock
They
shadow
wipe
going.
hell's ass with whatever flag keeps the smokestacks burning. To these men, the idea of mounting an offensive triggers a fresh and unplanned piss. Until there's
I was in the military. A fresh and unplanned piss is pretty much like just how things work.
Hesitation is a hole in the head. You drilled that into us relentlessly in flight school. Work the problem. Respond.
You were always a fast learner, Lieutenant.
I wonder what space ranks they go by. Do you think they go Space Navy or are they still Air Force?
Operational level.
Want to say they're Space Navy, or at least the bad guys are.
Space, yeah, the bad guys are definitely because he was an admiral.
Briefing, sir.
But like these guys, the protags.
No, he's an admiral.
Oh, that's totally Space Navy uniform. Look at that. They're wearing dress whites.
Yeah.
Go take a look for yourself.
I wonder how that took,
I think you'll be
because
quite
the Air Force tries to claim space all the time. Did
They
the
have-
Navy guys just come by and beat them up?
I think that I think that they claim space right now because we can only skim the edge of it, and so it's the realm of high-range fighter jets and stuff, which are definitely an Air Force thing.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about like deep space,
As
that
soon as you start getting ships, that's like
As soon-
Air Force territory.
it's
yeah.
no longer Air Force territory because they're not big on occupation. They usually go somewhere, do something, and then, hand it over to a larger force. Like if it's land engagement, they hand it over to the army. If it's a thing that's going to be monitored mostly by ships, that's a navy gig. So yeah, I think as soon as you start talking about things like carrier fleets again, you hand it over to the organization that has 200+ years experience with it.
That's fair, yeah.
Plus, I don't know. I think it's Robotech that did it for me, where I was always like, yeah, Space Navy just is totally the way it goes. Or I mean, Space Battleship Yamato, where it was straight up Space Navy because it was a literal naval ship.
Well, that's morbid.
Woo.
They got an entire blank wall.
Ooh.
That's not doing...
Well,
I mean, I get it's realistic, but...
I think it's for aesthetics also, because if there was one empty wall...
I guess.
I mean, I guess your other option is to make the font bigger, so that it fills up the wall? I don't know.
Or just... move them later.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I mean, I get, like, why you'd... It's like stockpiling body bags. I understand the reason, but...
It's still depressing, yeah. Sure.
So this is our entire fleet that we've gathered in one spot.
Apparently they do it every year.
Man, that doesn't seem like a security hazard at all.
They do it every year, and there's, like, itineraries.
Probably a lot of high-ranking politicians on those ships.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Air and Sea shows are a thing, but we don't bring the entirety of the thing to the thing. They do seem to have good security. I mean, you just got scanned for weapons and stuff.
Yes.
And think about it. This is the security at the top of an already secure building.
That's true.
That's pretty secure. I mean, there's checkpoints upon checkpoints. So I mean, getting a physical force onto this rooftop would be, in theory, relatively hard.
So, how long have these guys been fighting? Because those are some awfully large space guns to be hanging out in the harbor.
Well, right now it's an armistice, or ceasefire, or whatever. But, I mean... They haven't given us a timeline.
I guess.
The hell is that?
I think we found E3N.
Indeed, sir. Petty Officer First Class, E3N. Enhanced Tactical Humanoid, 3rd Revision.
That's a mouthful.
You ain't kidding. Call me Ethan, man.
What are your orders?
I like him.
I'm assigned to Retribution, reporting to Captain Alder.
Program for combat?
Thoroughly, ma'am. Born to kill.
Look like you can kick some serious ass.
Well, now you're just making me blush, sir.
Inside, Ethan. So Go can still climb.
I like that the most colorful character that we've been given so far is the Robot Man.
The literal robot man.
Like, I mean, everyone else is okay. They're fine. But he really seems to exist.
Is everybody okay with this? I mean, doors are a thing.
Oh, you don't
High
wanna-
strength crosswinds. I'm just... we're at the top of...
It's a really cool spaceship. It kind of looks like a Pelican from, again, Halo.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
close.
I mean, at this point, it probably has its own,
Ceremony today.
You know I got stage fright, right?
inertial dampeners and, like, probably its own atmo if you went to space. This looks like a spaceship flying
Shit,
ship.
are you serious?
No, ma'am. Not at all.
Oh my god. He has jokes.
He has jokes.
He just claimed to be an android instead, or a cyborg instead of a robot, and that was cute. I liked it.
Earth's Iron Shield. Major firepower.
Okay,
And
those.
those F-22s. I'm glad they finally got those in service.
That's how we know it's the future. So I like the big Doom cannons that they have everywhere. One, again, like you said, how long have they been fighting? And two, I like that they look like the guns that you'd expect out of, like, Wizards.
Or StarCraft.
Wizards, or StarCraft, or,
Warhammer 40k.
the video Across the Delta by, C2C, which is a musical group I like. Because they're giant pistols. They have an upper receiver that slides back with each gunshot. Someone engineered a slide the size of a Buick that has to
Fire with a pistol. I don't even know what it takes.
Is there a giant industrial strength spring at the bottom?
Yeah.
Or have we finally mastered keyless ammunition like they've talked about on like future weapons?
That'd be neat.
Oh, they're attacking civilians. We immediately know who the black and white hats are.
Man, they weren't even trying with the politics of this, were they?
Oh, good
I
thing.
know I've shot you like 4 times, but I'm glad it didn't count until the cutscene started.
Can't have you getting a drop on things.
Yes.
You're not genres. I mean, you are genre savvy, but the gentleman you're playing is not genre savvy. That's really
Well, I mean, obviously, otherwise he wouldn't get in a helicopter in a Call of Duty game. It just seems like a bad plan. I've played enough Call of Duty
That's
games
true.
for
They are
that.
kind of the speeder bikes of the Call of Duty universe, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody ever just gets out of one.
No.
You know, that could be novel. I would like to see a Call of Duty game that subverts like Call of Duty tropes like that.
That'd be neat.
Move it up, second floor. Run.
Ow.
I will say I'd like... Oh, never mind. I was about to say I would like some information on what these guns are. Just because they are future weapons and I don't know what they do. Like, what class of weapon are you using? But there are delightful pop-ups. That is actually not me being facetious. I'm happy to know what I'm using. So that I'm not trying to, like, snipe someone with a submachine gun.
That's true. Hey, look! I can, well, I can't when I have my fingers in my ears, but I can side hold it to use the reflex sight.
Oh!
Because that's not going to kill your wrist.
Well, I'm glad that it's not just there to be, you know, oh, this is just what guns have on them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm curious if there will ever be a reason to use the iron sight over the tactical optic.
Well, sure. It doesn't have zoom.
You know what I mean?
I
Beyond
know.
the zoom. Are there going to be like EMP grenades that would
I'd
knock
have
out your
moved that a little bit
electricals? Think about it. I mean, you have anti-grav grenades and all of this like crazy hyper tech, right?
Yeah.
EMP grenades seem like a thing that you would have. That it seems like that's something someone could make. I mean, EMPs are a thing now. They're just not a tactical, hand-carryable device.
That's true.
So with that in mind, and with all of the crazy hyper tech you have, I would want EMP grenades. Turn off all of your sights, all of your heads-up display stuff on your helmet cams and whatnot. I mean, really, it's a lot of that cyber warfare that they talk about. If you can disrupt someone's communication chain, it seems far more useful than, you know, shooting a guy.
That's true.
Plus, they reprogrammed your guns. They reprogrammed all of your big FU land-based pistol unit things to shoot down all of your spaceships. These are people that deal in cyber warfare. I'm assuming it's because they're the smaller and more mobile force compared to you, the occupying force? Dominant force? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a word there that doesn't cast you as the oppressor?
Yeah, but, I mean...
And I know Call of Duty games have always had a problem with that on some level of... You know, it's hard to make you the underdog good guy when you're almost always the allied power, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you're almost always coming from the larger, better equipped force and storming into someone's backyard and wrecking their day. I will say this one attacking you first is somewhat novel.
I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird how we like to cast ourselves as the underdog in these games. I mean, I don't mind that we're the dominant force, but the narrative needs to reflect that, I guess, for me to feel immersed.
Yeah.
The only way to
Or, you know, here's a crazy thought: if we're gonna do the, you know, futuristic space gun scenario, sure.
Look
go.
at this house for me.
Yep.
You see
I think it's
the
a bar.
entirety. Okay, you see the entirety of this building.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yep. Yeah, it's like a bar or a cafe or something.
How was that guy shooting me? Where is his door?
Oh, like stairs or some way to get up there. I see what you mean. Fire escape? Historical building, maybe? No, I see what you mean. They literally didn't think of the architecture of the building. That is a little weird.
No, there's no door there.
I don't... Yeah. I see nothing. Also, I love the fact that because we haven't hit the next checkpoint yet,
Oh yeah, no
we
bad
can
guys.
sit here and have this, like, architectural design debate. Again, not a complaint. It would be a real pain if,
There's no way up there. You parachuted into the second floor of a building that you can't get to. I admire the man's dedication.
I guess you would have just had to jump down. I think some of them had little jump jets.
Why is there a second? There's not even
an attic access.
or a closet. There could be a
Not even
unless the wall slides.
not
out.
even that crappy wrought iron spiral staircase thing.
Oh man, that's impressive.
Well, I don't think they expected anyone to notice. Is really what it comes down to. I mean, we were talking about a world with space battleships and aircraft carriers and such, and we're admiring the architecture on a 2-story flat that has a cafe on the floor.
Yeah, well, I really wanted that guy's sniper rifle.
That's fair. So, is this a boat or a space boat? That's a boat. That's a
looks like
marina boat.
I hope that's a boat.
That's
That's going to be a lot of people falling off the back of a space
No,
boat.
that's a boat. So, like any good air show or whatever, there's a big marina, and so I think this is a spectator boat. I saw the whiz that means someone has a sniper rifle up there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you could throw a grenade or one of those Doom bots and hope it doesn't get destroyed in the scuffle.
There it goes. Those guys are like a war crime. God damn it, Ethan, why are you in the open?
I'm wondering how those things identify friend or foe.
Be an awfully dangerous thing to get hacked. What?
Ooh. Sniper kill. Mars' control of the Earth is the something
bad political philosophy.
Yo. something dark side.
Frags have secrets. I don't want frags.
Did they replace them? Can you only have one grenade type?
Apparently.
I mean, I guess it makes sense you only have so many belt pouch spots, but I was just curious.
I'm surprised you had any. You're dressed for a parade float in full combat gear.
I mean, there's been enough time to pick some stuff up.
Well, by now, yeah.
Well, you didn't have grenades at first. Salt, your colleague, handed you some. Remember, you were like, "Oh, these would have been useful to have." At that point, maybe you picked up a tactical vest from the wreckage.
I hate people with helmets.
Well, to be fair, having a helmet makes sense.
I know.
Especially for these guys, because they did show up to wreck things. I'm impressed that your commanding officer guy is running around in his like BDUs or ACUs or whatever those are.
Yeah.
Just Sergeant Johnsoning it up.
Oh, we now have hypercancer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh boy.
Like space asbestos just flooding the streets.
That's a different kind of cancer.
Everyone has laser limb.
We're no good.
Space, space lung.
Space lung.
So that looked like an EMP. Going back to what I was saying earlier. Can you look through your sights? Do they still...
Yeah.
Okay, they still work. But the big stuff, definitely. Oh! Oh!
Hello, quick time event.
That looked cool. Where's Ethan?
Right there. I didn't knife my robot buddy.
Hey, Ethan, don't think about that too much. We're bros. You and me are cool. Ethan just looks over. Did you know they weren't me? Were you sure? I mean, we're a similar make and model. We have like the same head shape and everything. No,
Yeah, probably.
no. You're painted different, and we're bros. No, it's cool. These guys are totally gonna have like some kind of AI war in the future.
Oh, God.
I mean, look at those robots. And Ethan is a thinking robot. The other ones are all like, you know, puppet pals.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some Dune-style AI rebellion, and then like AI rights and such. Ethan's like, I notice you take additional unnecessary shots at your mechanical opponents. Oh well, yeah,
Well, they were
you know.
twitching. You know, you have to make sure they're put down for good. It's not a war crime when we do it to robots.
That's true. Oh, oh. See, that's how you know that they're not thinking robots like Ethan.
Because you can slowly flank them.
Because you slowly flanked him and he was still shooting at somebody way the heck over there. He didn't even notice you. His algorithm was not, algorithming.
Yeah.
I will say that robots, do, like, make up for bad AI. Like, if your AI opponents are robots, and they do something dumb, it's charming almost, because, oh, well, they're robots, and they don't necessarily have the programming. But, like, if a person opponent had done that, it would have seemed, like, really odd.
Yeah.
I am curious to see, like, the difference between the humans and the robots that you're fighting, to see if that holds true. Do the humans tend to pick up on things a little bit quicker, or flank you in a way that makes more sense tactically? Because that would actually be really cool. Is if the two enemy types really behaved differently. Obviously, we can't really tell here, because it's so far just been a series of fatal funnels, where you've just sort of been channeled into rooms where you have to shoot at dudes.
Yeah.
Again, not a complaint, just a theme I'm noticing on this this first outing.
Ouch. Ooh.
It has been a good opportunity to test out weapon types. You've pretty much run into, like, all the guns, I think.
Yeah,
And
basically.
you've gotten to throw most grenade types if you wanted.
Most of the grenade types are bad.
Yeah. So, my tinnitus just kicked up real hardcore right after you threw that grenade. And I know that it wasn't the game doing it, because we have it on super quiet so that we don't get feedback on the microphone. But, I almost wonder if it's my brain just reminding me that that's what happens afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Be some psychosomatic.
could be, could be. For those who don't know, tinnitus is the, fancy pants medical term for the ringing of the ears. I have, in fact, had more than a few flashbangs in my general vicinity over the years, and it's my constant companion now. I joke that it's the reason I like techno music, is because it just blends in as one more layer of noise. But, yeah, just one of those weird little things.
You know, getting used to this style of shooter after playing Doom is hard.
Are you lamenting the lack of chainsaws that you can hit things with?
I mean, it would just go so much faster.
Hey, is that ladder climbable?
That's a good question.
Ooh! Ninja route!
Yeah, look at that.
I helped. Tactical awareness army.
Blow up car.
That would be nice. Although, I think that guy next to the car might be one of yours. Hard to tell. You guys need more distinct uniform colors.
No kidding.
Everyone with that, like, space gray color. And don't get me wrong, it's a classic look. But somebody has to yield on that, or else there's going to be more friendly fire incidents than there were.
That's what I get for cooking the grenade too long.
Oh, is that what happened that time?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I know last time it was, like, sniper fire.
What is the lethal range on these grenades? Like 6 feet?
It could have been a dud. I know that the U.S. forces actually have a higher dud rate than a lot of other countries, but that's because we want to make sure they don't go off in someone's pocket.
Yeah, that's true.
Like World War II ammunition, we had like the highest fail rate. The Russians had the lowest fail rate, which on the one hand meant that they knew that if they threw a thing down range, it was one and done. On the other hand, you did carry them just a bit more gingerly, I guess. Knowing that the rubber plug on the front of the RPG was literally the only thing keeping it from going off, made you just a bit more skittish when carrying around a crate of them. You know what I think would be interesting is if you could detain or apprehend people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because they keep popping up with these injured tags, but then you have to finish the job. Like, you have to. The scene won't advance unless you take them out, and the injured people still fight. You know, to be fair, I mean, there was a guy on your left there that had the injured tag that was still very ambulatory and very much gonna try and shoot you.
CptE's been trying to take control for years, Ethan.
Why are they attacking us? We're at war. Come on,
Try
man.
that door. I'll clear in behind you.
Well, officially, you know, they had sort of a 40-second parallel sort of thing going on. I'm guessing that facility that they took? Oh, you killed a civilian.
What?
They ran around a
We're
corner.
just gonna blame it on the bad guys anyway.
Reyes, tie that door.
Well, sure, but, I mean,
Maybe that's the wrong attitude.
you personally aren't taking that approach. Don't get me wrong, the organization you represent will totally propagandize the heck out of this. But, you personally don't seem to be taking that approach. I will say that I'd be a little worried about throwing grenades into these rooms knowing that they're civilians, but, that didn't seem to do any harm.
Ethan, that is not cover. That is, in fact, the opposite of cover.
He's new!
He's a robot! Age doesn't matter!
He used the term born. Now, he does have a bunch of AI programming in there, but he does not necessarily know everything yet. Oh, that's kind of neat. Are you one of the robots?
I think I am.
Weren't you just saying, man, it would be a shame if those got hacked?
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like just another piece of technological superiority.
So, I want to point out that Ethan had the hacking unit.
Why didn't he use it?
I'm thinking it's an, I think it's an Asimov thing. I don't think he can.
Huh.
I'm thinking he literally...
What's it, a reverse Asimov? He's only allowed to kill human beings and not his robot brethren?
Well, no, he can kill robots, but I think taking control of them, asserting dominance over them, becoming the AI lord, if you will, is probably something that we have safeguards for.
That's telling.
That being said, though, does it work on Ethan? And if it does work on Ethan, does Ethan know it works on Ethan? I'm just thinking about the power dynamic between you and Ethan right now.
We're in, like, super space future, right?
Yeah?
I'm just curious, because... I don't know, man. This looks awfully low-tech.
Well, it's a historic district.
Ah, yes.
even in the super future, we are going to keep cobblestone buildings and stuff in places if they hold some significance to us. That's just part of the human condition. We love old stuff. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, right next to this cute little, like, cafe district thing is apparently whatever this building is. Like, you know...
Now we storm the beaches of Normandy!
Space headquarters, you know? Federation headquarters, there we go. Yeah, you don't want to be in the path of that. That looks bad. Ooh.
Get dodged. You don't
Why
run
didn't
backwards,
you
you run right
dodge?
or left.
It's true. It's true. You strafe. But no, this looks like a miserable slog of a hill to get up. And it really seems like... Well, it seems like somebody should have been able to land something on top of it by now. But I guess those space gun things are really worth their money in terms of their ability to decimate ships. Turns out it doesn't matter whose ships. Ours, theirs. They work equally well. Or are you trying to hack something?
Yeah, it just seems like more efficient than shooting people.
Why use your gun if you can use someone else's gun over there? Sure,
Basically.
I can see the logic.
Why
there.
use my own bullets? Capitalists.
Probably. Although that would be an interesting take, is if you guys are the Federation, for lack of a better.
We're not actually capitalists.
And it's the opposing force that you guys are fighting that are in fact the capitalists.
That would be probably too clever for these guys, but
Like, these guys are basically the Ferengi or whatever. You know, they're the super capitalists. They abide by the Prosperity Bible or the Book of Acquisitions, which really are kind of the same thing when all is said and done.
yeah, basically.
Well,
Hello, fellow robot.
that's probably not fair. I mean, the Book of Acquisitions seemed like it did away with the pretenses. It knew exactly what it was.
That's true.
I gotta say, it looks like the space future went with the brutalist architecture style. Either that or they were really big fans of the show American Gladiators, because everything looks like it's like grid tiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's supposed to be brutalist architecture, where everything is super stark and uncompromising in terms of color, shape, and
Trying
function.
to self-destruct. I'm losing my signal.
Don't want to give them that robot back.
No.
I am curious, when you give them the robot back, that robot just committed all sorts of, you know, terrible acts. The other robots should still kill it, because they shouldn't trust it after that. It's been compromised.
That's true.
But it's more fun to kill. It's like, oh, I wanted to explode.
Man, why use my own gun? I got this whole death bot thing.
I'm wondering if anyone else bothered to pick up a hacking unit, because it really seems like just the bee's knees.
Well, that wasn't even a hacking unit. I could just call in my airship to kill all the bad guys.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. In addition to the hacking unit, I'm almost curious if some guys managed to complete this game without firing more than the absolutely minimum necessary number of bullets.
Ooh. And air quotes pacifist run. You only use
I didn't kill anybody.
seekers, hacking units, and airstrikes. See if you can play fun home game. See if you can play this entire game with only robot kills.
That'd be weird.
Did you stop time?
No.
Is this just for cinematic effect? Is
Basically.
Ethan wrestling that man?
Sure.
Oh, it's to turn things off.
Yeah, so he doesn't self-destruct our giant guns.
Oh. Those things are probably really expensive. Lots of taxpayer money went into those.
We still got enemy ships in our airspace.
Right away, Admiral.
Sato forces are trenched in outside setting up a fob.
Good.
Oh, that's forward operating base for those at home. But, I mean, if you're a Call of Duty fan, you probably know the nomenclature by now.
Why are they setting up a forward operating base? Why don't they use one of their
They wanna
actual real bases?
They want to take
That's
Earth.
him.
It's the bad
Oh,
guys.
the enemy's setting up.
Yeah,
for it,
yeah.
okay.
This is their beachhead.
SDF sleeper cell.
I think they wanted this building as their fob, but I think we just kicked them out of it. So they're going to try and dig in somewhere. And
Well,
honestly,
that's not a good idea.
and-
We have death robots.
and honestly, if this is a historical city like it looked to be, there's probably like catacombs and like tunnels and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be clearing these guys out for months.
Fast work, Ethan. Well done.
You prolong the inevitable.
Get him out of here.
Is this like that bit in Modern Warfare where the Russians are winning until you turn off the thing that's making all your stuff work?
Give me bastard.
That was a very
So many
strange
innocent
mission.
people, Reyes.
Also the first
Let's get
one.
out there and fight for him.
'Cause, I mean, basically all it proved was that
Where it goes, sir?
in a fair fight we lose.
Hmm.
Which, I mean, I'm all for not fighting fair, but that's also depressing.
Yeah.
Back under UNSA control. I say again, we have control of Adis.
Set depths retreating.
Neat.
Raider to main, Lieutenant Salter and I need birds. Aye, sir.
Why?
Birds! Well, you're pilots.
I suppose. But, I mean, why don't I just go back in there? Because these guys fly on their own. Why am I getting in the lightly armored, dangerous thing?
Because you're a pilot.
I mean, yeah, no, I get that, but they don't need pilots.
Yes, sir.
Well, in theory, they work better with pilots. Oh, is he gonna be your R2? Oh my god. He may be my literal favorite character of this entire thing. If he sits in back and beeps and boops at you a little bit, like, no, it's even better. It'd be like if C-3PO sat behind you, because he can talk and be pithy and stuff.
Oh boy. Man, that's not giving anybody hypercancer. Look at those. Oh boy.
Okay.
That's a lot of exhaust people breathing in.
Well, depending on how efficient our engines are, it might just be water vapor. We can hope. I mean, all these ships were going to have to do this after the air show, Fleet Week, whatever,
Yeah,
anyway.
but presumably somewhere else.
Maybe. Maybe it really isn't that bad. I mean, I think when their cores go and they explode and rain over the city like that, that's probably bad. This is their normal operating procedure, as far as I can tell, is blasting off. This is when everything works properly. Okay, you're in space. Like, actual space.
Affirmative.
Let's get in there.
I feel like this part would be better served by like a tactical top-down sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's trying to capture more X-Wing and less Armada, but in my you know, limited understanding of this sort of thing, the X-Wing battles don't matter if it's a Armada battle, because okay, your X-Wing blows up theoretically all other TIE fighters, right?
Yeah.
But they still have their big capital ships. What are your X-Wings going to do then?
Pray they still have torpedoes.
But even then, they don't carry many of them. They only carry a couple.
That's true.
You have to hope that you have enough of them and you hit critical systems every time. But like, for instance, you're doing the cool buzzing around, shooting other fighters thing, right? You know, blowing up their honestly adorable looking fighters.
Let's see what my other gun is.
But really what matters is the capital ships. If yours can take out theirs, you know, yeah.
Look out, we're annoying.
I mean, you obviously want their fighter screen to go away, because they can cause problems. But you are not the primary fight here.
Yeah.
And unless those little ships there are actually bombers or something, in which case they
I
could
don't
be
know,
an issue.
maybe everybody has glass armor like Space Battleship Yamato.
Where everybody but the Yamato is made of, like,
Paper mache.
paper
and
mache.
peanut brittle.
Yeah. Could be. They do look very explodey. We've already seen one cook off. Pretty cool looking, actually. Lots of lens flare.
I mean, I've got a hold of a 50mm cannon, so...
So yeah, maybe no one has a lot of armor. Maybe building stuff in space is super expensive, and we figured out that it doesn't have to... It only has to survive one atmosphere. So we never bothered to make it survive more pressure than that. And of course, the space battleship Yamato was made to be a ship, and so it had to, you know, survive the rigors of the ocean. So it was made of a crap load of, you know, steel and probably bauxite.
Yeah.
Which, you know, resulted in something that, yeah, you know, if you
I
weld
those
those
cannons work pretty good, although I don't know how much primary capital fire we're shooting at it either.
I was gonna say, I don't know how much of that was you, but at least some of it was you. You were having an effect. Your bullets weren't just impacting and making that scorch mark on the hull.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. I don't know if that was supposed to sound super garbled, but I didn't understand what he was saying.
I'm getting some abnormal readings. Same. Checking static pressure.
Oh!
How long has this war been happening?
Did they just come in out of warp?
Yes. And they've got a doom laser. Why don't we have a doom laser?
I think that might be that prototype gun that team was after.
Oh, that is our doom laser.
That's what I mean.
Sometimes.
It's your doom laser. Oh,
Okay,
it's
but
that
why
guy.
though?
Oh, are you doing a trench run?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, their Doom Laser, or I guess formerly your Doom Laser, is pretty cool. At least that away team royally wrecked that facility. I don't think they can build another one.
Well, there's that, I suppose.
I mean, they have the Doom Laser, but I don't think they have the facilities to build
Not
another.
if I shoot it with a 50mm cannon. Seriously, why aren't we shooting at the doom laser? If it's like any other hyper-tech weapon system, it's got to be super fragile.
Especially if it's a prototype.
Oh, man.
If it's a prototype, it's over-engineered and extremely fragile. There's probably a heat exhaust somewhere that'll make it so they can fire that like 2 more times and then it melts.
Yeah.
Just hit the big heat sink on the back. How can you tell it's the heat sink? Well, it's the thing that...
Well, it's glowing red and exposed with fins.
I was gonna say, it's the glowing red thing in the depths of space. Turn on your thermals. That is the heat sink. Blow it up. I mean, seriously. There's probably a big chunk of it that's just made of, like, tungsten or something.
So when do you think they started converting the F-22 into a space fighter?
Oh, well, it's...
About 10 years from now?
Well, it's always meant to be a space fighter. It's an all-purpose fighter.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no, we just haven't figured out that part yet.
It's
Just throw another $10 trillion at it.
It's an all-purpose fighter that sometimes loses to current airframes and older airframes. All-purpose.
It's good at everything.
It
can lose against anybody.
It's like when you take an RPG class that claims to be a generalist, it just means you're going to be everyone's backup back.
Yes, right.
You're never the first choice for that job, but if the first choice isn't there, I guess he can do it. He has that stat on the piece of paper, he can roll dice.
I mean, if there's somebody else who doesn't do it, and the mage hasn't learned that spell yet, I suppose you can give it a shot.
It's like that generalist in Anima that I had, who was literally everyone's understudy.
Oh, boy.
I could do magic, I knew some languages. I mean, none of it well, but I was such a good tourist. A little bit of everything.
Petty Officer First Class Ethan, this is Gibson, Red's air boss.
Okay, so we have reached the end of the gameplay version of this demo, so we're just going to summarize what happens next. Captain's dead, despite these two people being the same rank.
Gibson, do as she says.
My dude gets promoted to captain because I'm leader of the flight squad. And then we're going to personally lead some Marines into attack on the moon because that's what captains do of ships.
Oh, we're totally...
Personally lead strike teams.
We're
of
totally
Marines.
Star Trek then. You're kirking it up. This
Oh,
is even
boy.
early Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Picard had the sense to bring a security squad, like, to go
And generally
punch things
not
for him.
go.
Yeah.
Riker was the one that punched things most days.
That's true.
Alright. So, if our things are so ridiculously fragile, why do the ram? Anyway.
Well, because their things are so ridiculously fragile, too.
Yeah, I guess.
We probably reinforce the front.
I'm just...
So you want to be the one doing the ramming and not being rammed, because that's like the one bit with all the armor on it.
I guess.
It's the Daedalus maneuver.
Oh, boy.
Oh, I love the Daedalus maneuver. Maybe you have shields that you put in front. Pinpoint shields. Bury your shields. All in front. Punch.
Just looking around, I kind of doubt it. But, like I said, we're good for the demo right about here, so, I don't know, maybe we'll play more if I bother to actually buy this game, so...
It's very pretty, and Ethan is charming.
And, you know, it's been a while since I played a corridor shooter. I mean, they're kind of fun. It's kind of like one of those light gun games.
Oh, I love those light gun games.
Only you get to choose the path of the camera.
That can be a double-edged sword.
I know. Although I'm still confused as to why they make some things cutscenes and what things aren't cutscenes for no particular reason.
How easy call your captain, mate?
Cost us some good men. Didn't have to happen. Not like that.
I do like that he needed help. I appreciate that he doesn't do all things by himself.
Captain's duty is to get
You tend to have a squad that rolls around with you.
Here we see the difference between the Navy and the Marines, I guess.
You talk with people. I don't know. This is real growth for the Call of Duty franchise. It is.
Well,
you know
maybe.
it is.
I mean, we didn't play Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Ghosts, or Advanced
I'm
Warfare.
assuming that we've seen progression throughout those.
Yeah, probably.
Those are probably part of that growth curve, and this is how we've arrived here.
All this happened in the crash?
Yes, sir.
Well, see, that's why you don't lead a ramming maneuver with your bridge.
The highest ranking officer on board?
That just...
you do, sir.
Destroyer Tigers has
Don't feel too bad about it. You probably rock, paper, scissors in the elevator.
Yeah, she always throws rock.
Get Raven transport set.
A lot of people throw rock. It's a solid one. I mean, really, rock.
Coordinate with engineering, get us mobile.
Roger. Engineer McCullum's on her way.
Staff Sergeant, can we count on your help?
You'll have what you need from me, Lieutenant.
Salt, you with me?
Always.
Gator, get the Admiral on the line.
Copy. Comms officer, Stratcom, Top Cat Solver.
Roger. Tigers captain on deck.
Captain Farron?
Lieutenant, who's in charge here?
Lieutenant Reyes, SCAR team leader.
Captain, your ship and crew?
Intact.
We're fine. We weren't student enough to ram anybody.
We just got here after all of this hit the fan.
I hear there was a super laser? Kind of wondered why we don't have anything remotely like that.
Can we salvage it from the other ship? It's probably still working. You guys didn't target it. You just blew up the ship it was on.
No, it left.
Oh.
Apparently, you can just kind of warp in and out whenever you want.
Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't think I would have all of my ships in Fleet Week if
God,
you can
no.
warp.
Especially when you're at, like, actual conflict.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even do that in
Moon
Korea,
Gateway
and there
Port.
hasn't... We haven't even done that in Korea. There hasn't been active fighting there for, what, half a century?
Yeah.
I'm promoting you to the rank of commander. You are now the acting
Commander.
captain of Retribution.
Commander.
Commander.
That, Admiral.
Keep the enemy away.
Man, at some point we should do XCOM.
Godspeed, captains.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
I don't know about 2. I hear 2's pretty hard.
Without it. That's how we do things in the infantry, Lieutenant.
We'll insert the Marines from Retribution.
Yeah.
Provide overwatch from Tigers.
Also, they haven't made a
Let's go to
console
work,
version of it
Captain
yet,
Reyes.
and my
Stay sharp
computer
out
is not a
there. All
Gibson.
of you.
That's
You too,
true.
Captain.
So, there's that.
I think they might have actually made one, but
Have
I
they?
don't know.
I heard it kept getting delayed.
Lieutenant Salter.
I'll have to check on that. Get back to
I was
you.
gonna say, as of the last time I looked at it, they weren't putting it on consoles, and I
Okay,
think
so the Marine is both gung-ho and reasonable. We don't need air support. You should really stay here.
You ride in with us. See how the view changes.
I like him.
Well, deck and 5 staff, sorry.
I like him, and I like his hardpoint armor. He looks very cool.
Yeah. It's
Also-
like he's wearing armor infantry should have.
You changed out of your office attire at some point.
No, that's what I was wearing as office attire.
Were you?
Yeah.
With all the buckles and straps, too?
I know, it must take me like an hour to get dressed.
I mean, don't get me wrong, tack gear takes a bit, but, like, to report for a briefing, it seems like a tad much.
Just a bit. Maybe I flew there.
Maybe you did fly there in your plane.
The indomitable Captain John.
Space Emmy.
Captain is dead.
No, Space Grammy. It's big and round. It's
Yeah.
totally a Grammy.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
You can do this. You're the best we've got.
High praise coming from you, Nora.
You earned it, Raider.
Uh,
I'll give you a moment.
so I'm just thinking there's quite a different command difference in multi-ton ship versus fighter wing.
I want, turn around for a bit, to the left.
Uh-huh.
I want a minigame where you can be those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe for the inevitable load screens, or for when you're waiting for a match or something.
Oh, yeah.
I think it'd be a puzzle game.
There you go.
But it would be like, sinking coils or something. I don't know.
Mm.
Honestly, it could just be pipe free and I'd be happy. But I would want it to have the little dudes moving the pieces around in order to, like, reroute coolant on repairing the retribution.
Man, I really hope the bad guys don't have, like, 3 more ships, or they could absolutely wreck us.
Let's say all of your ships are listing lazily to the right.
We've got all of 2 active capital ships. If they have 3, Earth is boned.
If they held anything in reserve, now would be the time to hit you with it very hard.
Or after we leave for the moon.
Or
And
after you
Earth
leave
is
for the moon.
Entirely, well, and I suppose we got those giant space guns.
You
but
got your giant space guns
if
back.
they don't have 2 sleeper spies.
You got your giant space guns back, and you can warp.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope you can warp too. I mean,
yeah, short game if you're gonna.
Switch is set.
I have Tiger's Captain Farron for the commander.
Patch it.
Captain, Tigers will drop in outside the area of operation. Once Red joins, we'll hold position until your Marines are ready. Good flight. Out.
I'll be joining the Marines. God, why?
so the cool captain lady kind of reminds me of
Janeway?
Janeway.
Yeah, definitely a Janeway vibe.
I don't know if it's the stern military bun and her demeanor, or
Well,
if
that's
it's a
sign.
facial feature thing.
We're going into battle, going into war, just going into warp caused our bridge to catch on fire. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've watched a lot of Stargate, but
Commander, Tigers is set for best escort.
I mean, yikes.
Tigers is standing by. Let's board.
You know, maybe going with Marines is a good idea if your ship's going to catch fire every time it
Shit,
does
I
something.
might be safer on the moon.
You might be safer on the moon.
People are shooting at me.
You get here, see that everything is knocked over on fire or sparking, and go, I'm going with the Marines.
Oh boy.
I mean,
Sergeant Omar taking lead
the
on this.
the last
Because he's the Marine in charge. It's not a joint operation, it's a Marine operation where
he did not disrespect him. He was just like, "Hey, you're officers. You should stay on the bridge where officers live." If anything, he was being
he gave you grump about the command choices during battle. Yeah, because he's a Marine. That's what they do. No Marines.
he was offering advice to someone who just got handed a command he's probably not ready for.
Nothing's changed.
Oh shit.
I'm just saying, it's like when a new LT shows up and asks, like the master sergeant, "Hey, should we do this thing?" And if the master sergeant says
The
no,
LT's like, I'm gonna do this thing, and the master sergeant's like,
You really
that's really not a good idea, but I can't stop you.
I can't stop you, but I can emphatically offer advice. And, the sign of a good LT is that he takes the advice, usually.
And we are desperately not doing that.
What?
Taking the advice.
Oh, no, not at all. Weapon upgrades? Oh,
Yeah.
Griff?
Yeah, Griff the weapons guy. He 3D prints all of our weapons once we see them once on the battlefield.
Oh, that means that all of your guns are the Liberator.
Ah,
We finally got that working. I haven't seen any of them explode in your hand. You're fine.
yeah, no, that's
Need to
a
stay
good
ahead of
point.
him, Reyes.
None of this is standard operating.
You all have space guns that have all been 3D printed.
Okay, so I get why I'm here. I'm the scruffy dude protagonist. Why are you here? Aren't you technically second in command?
Aren't you the
Aren't
person?
you literally the XO right now?
Aren't you the person who would take command if I get shot out on the battlefield?
You're the right man for the job, Bryce.
Oh.
I think what it comes down to is they made the model, they liked the model a lot, they wanted the model to run around and do things.
I guess. Ethan, you're in charge. Don't come with us. I need somebody reliable on this ship, and you don't need to breathe.
So even if the ship depressurizes, you can continue to give commands. No, I see it. It's a good choice. I mean, honestly, he can probably just plug into the thing, like RoboCop with the little...
Just run the entire thing
Power your
himself.
jumps and your wall runs. Keep you controlling zero
Wall
G.
runs? Man, that would have been a good thing to put in the first 2 missions.
I found the lieutenant's voice.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see it.
aboard, sir. Lieutenant.
Oh, are we reaching the end of tutorial time?
We absolutely are.
Like the end of our AOL subscription disc? Oh, that's a
Subscribe now for only $60 a year.
Plus our officers. And this
Season pass?
What's your assignment?
Or are you
Well,
making an AOL joke?
I'm making an AOL joke.
I don't remember
But
how much
also
AOL
season
was.
pass. It's not a yearly season pass.
Sir, I work for a living.
Oof.
Check your bot, Captain.
On the other hand, that would be a lot of content if it did.
That's
I would
true.
hope.
Be necessary, Staff Sergeant. Ethan, park it.
Aye, sir.
Grovers are in capacity.
Not a problem, Private. He doesn't need a seat. Step up, Ethan. Hang on tight.
Yes,
Private? Really? You're gonna backtalk the... Like, I get your Master Sergeant doing it, but, man...
I think he was concerned that they didn't have a seat for the robot man.
Maybe.
Because Ethan is now hanging on the side, because they're like, no, it's fine, Private. He doesn't need a seat. Because he's literally stowable baggage.
I mean, these are pretty spacious back areas here.
Well, I'm thinking the Private was concerned about actual carrying capacity, like tonnage.
Oh, I suppose.
Which isn't answered by the whole, he can hang on the side bit.
So, that was the campaign they got for the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare demo. The 60 gigabyte demo that needs to update every 18 hours, so keep that in mind.
If you wanted to try the demo and experience this for yourself, it is a laugh and a half, but you better have some space cleared out for it. And remember to, you know, go make a sandwich while it's updating.
Sandwich, another sandwich, maybe play a Switch if you got one. It'll take a bit.
It does have to cook.
But anyway, who knows? We might play some multiplayer, we might play some zombies, but not tonight. We've been going quite a while. If you like content like this, or like our content in general, feel free to leave us a comment, give us a like, maybe even subscribe.
Let us know which Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is your favorite warfare. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Catch you later.